Hey, what's going on, everybody? Who be 186 back again with another video. This is my first video on Upload Studio. I'll do I'll do a video on my experiences with it and compare it to Share Factory in a later date. But today I wanted to address the Microsoft's 2017 exclusive game lineup. Now, in lieu of Scalebound being canceled, there's a lot of talk about whether or not this 2017 lineup is any good. You know what I mean? Especially when you take out a game like Scalebound, which was supposed to be, like I said in the Scalebound video, cancellation video, really was supposed to be kind of like the game that highlights more diversity for the Xbox brand. Now, this year, off the top of my head, obviously I don't have every game here, but off the top of my head, the games that are coming out this year are Sea of Thieves, Halo Wars 2, the obvious next Forza game, Forza 7 more than likely, Crackdown 3, Cuphead, and I mean there's others, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. You know, you have a ton of indies that are coming out, and you know, like at the end of the day, like I look at the lineup, and the one thing that you don't really see, you don't see a mainline Halo, and you don't see a mainline Gears game. Now, for the people who have been criticizing Microsoft for this lackluster lineup are more than likely the same people, and I'm one of these people too. I've criticized Microsoft about this in the past. Are the same people who shit on Microsoft for only depending on their main franchise, which is Halo, Forza, and Gears. And you know, Forza is a special case because that franchise is semi-annual between their arcade racer and their sim racer. But but this is the first time since I believe launch that they're not really dependent on Halo and Gears, which you know, I guess since launch, but you know, again, you know, they did have collections for both. I know that that Ultimate Collection for both came out during year that the other one wasn't out, so you know, you can kind of, you know, you could parse through that. But this is the first time in a while that they are not dependent on a Halo, on a mainline Halo or a mainline Gears game, and to me, that's a good thing, especially if you're going. You can't sit there and criticize a company for doing one thing and then criticize them when they try to do something different. You know what I mean? And you know, I understand that if some of the games don't interest you, you know what I mean. Like Sea of Thieves does nothing for me. I'm not into Halo Wars 2. Really, the only game for the Xbox One that I want to get this year is Crackdown 3. Cuphead, and the next Forza game, and you know, like obviously I'm gonna buy more games for it, you know, from games from the past, like Sunset Overdrive is a game that I want to play, or in the Blind Forest was a game I want to play. So I definitely have games I'm gonna be buying on this thing. But my overall point is that you can't criticize them for doing something, and then shit on them when they try to do something different. You know what I mean? Like I said before, the game may not be for you. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's several games on there that don't do it for me. And to be frank, the same thing goes for the PlayStation. Like, I'm mildly interested in Yakuza. You know what I mean? Like in Neo, I don't. It's not really my cup of tea. The only game coming out in the first couple months for the PlayStation that I'm gonna buy is Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's only because I want to support Guerrilla Games, because I feel like they've gotten a raw deal for multiple generations for the Killzone franchise, which I think is still very underrated. So you know, like, it goes both ways. The way I look at it is this: if Microsoft, I think the problem is that these games that are coming out this year, if they don't succeed, if they don't, you know, they don't do well, like Halo Wars, that's niche. Like that's obviously that's a niche game. I mean, even though Halo is a big franchise, the RTS thing on console is niche. Like, that's obvious. But if a game like Sea of Thieves don't do well, if a game like Crackdown 3 don't do well, I think a lot of people fear that you'll never see sequels for these games again. And you look at Microsoft's past, and that's a very valid concern. Like, you know, you look at Sunset Overdrive. Hey, I'm sorry, I got interrupted there for a second, but you look at a game like Sunset Overdrive, a game that, you know, was critically acclaimed, but a game that technically didn't sell well. So now you have, now you have, Insomniac. They're doing other stuff now. I mean, they just made a Ratchet and Clank game, which was very successful, and they're about to make arguably one of the most anticipated superhero games in a long time, in Spider-Man. So they're doing other stuff. The Rise creators, they're done for. Like, I mean, they're done. And you look at what other games come out. Quantum Break, that franchise is up in the air. We don't know what they're gonna. We don't know what Remedy is gonna do with that franchise. We don't know what they're gonna do because I think I remember reading that they might want to go multi-platform with their next game or something like that. I don't remember, but yeah. So I mean, like when these franchises don't do well for Microsoft, they kind of like throw them to the wayside. That's been a thing since the 360. What I mean, with the 360, all those exclusives that they had in the beginning, and mainly from third party. Once with the combination of the PS3 gaining momentum and developers being able to make games for it, plus Microsoft's unfortunate desire to only really care about big budget titles, not big budget but titles that make a lot of money, you don't get as many. And I think at the end of the day, if they want to create a library of games, if they want to create more diversity, if that's what they want to do, we don't. I mean, again, they're a business; they're about making money. But if they want to have a diversity of different game lineups, these games have to do well. These games have to succeed, and you never know what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, this lineup itself is intriguing to me because again, you don't have a Gears or a Forza, you have a Gears or a Halo, you have a bunch of different games that may or may not succeed, but games that they're different. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what we want from these companies. We want something different. So that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. This is Who186. I am out. Peace.
You were quite good at racing cars. Did you know that?